What's up everyone? Welcome to a video here on the Drago Racing YouTube channel. Today we are at Indianapolis for a lap guide coming up for the Indy 6-hour event here. I personally won't be participating in it. My teammate will though, and I have been trying to help a bit here in preparation. So let's get right into a hot lap around Indy. So here we are then at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, coming down into turn 1. You want to take a look at this 500 board and brake just before it, or somewhere in between the 600 and 500 board, I would say. Make sure you don't overlap the inputs coming in here, very important. And try and apply the brake pretty slowly. Hold the peak for very, very long though. That's the trick to this corner, I would say. You know, you apply the brake slowly, hold it just at like 88, 89% for a very long time. Trail brake off, absolutely smash that curb. And then go very calm into this left one. Just tap the brake very slightly, 2-3%. Super early on the throttle, but gotta be very controlling, just like all my other lap guides I've done this year. You know what I've talked about in GTP. You gotta be super early on the throttle, but not a high percentage early. So you really control that all the way out. Use that whole exit, opening the entry here. Now this one is very important that you keep a constant brake. You do not want to have a lot of changing, you know, applying pressure, coming back down, applying again. This is gonna destabilize your rear end and you might have a spin or a lockup or touch the grass here on entry. So try and be very calm, you know, hold a constant percentage coming in, and then again you see very early on the throttle, cut in all the way on that curb, and then you can see I'm turning a lot here as well. And in the Porsche especially you can do this, but it also induces a bit of understeer, which helps with traction. Just GTP logic nowadays. So works in a bit of corners. Over that first curve, absolutely destroyed the second one. The track limit is ridiculous here. So left tires, if it stays on the curb, there's no track limit. You smash it, full throttle. Coming into whatever corner this is now, I don't remember, but your braking point is gonna be here. This first part of the gray here. No overlapping, once again, very important. Very aggressive on the braking here. Try to avoid lockups or micro lockups. Slow it down, keep it in second. Again, you can see I'm turning a lot here. Keeping it in second for this section as well. Now, this is an interesting one. You want to go pretty tight in here, so it induces understeer. You avoid the rear from getting loose or having traction issues. And then to counter that understeer you get from the tight entry, you use the grass to rotate. And then the same thing here, use the grass to rotate. You're gonna gain so much time. Coming out of here, you don't want to get back all the way to the left. You actually want to be a bit more in the middle, or a bit left to the middle. Why do we do this? Well, first of all, you cut meters on the entry, so you gain time. This wouldn't really work in theory if it wasn't for the iRacing tires at the moment, because you overheat the fronts more. You bring more heat into the fronts. That creates understeer, which creates traction, which enables you to get on throttle earlier and carry more speed on the exit. Now, a more logical line for here would be to go all the way out to the left, as there's a long straight after, and then cut in and get the better exit that way. But sadly, your rears or your fronts are not going to be in a bad condition, which means you're going to have more turning and less traction. Hard to explain, but I hope you understand. Then coming into this one, another one where you really got to apply the pressure slowly. You're turning a lot here on entry. Be careful with the brake, very important. Come off the brake, carry more speed than you think here. I think it's the key to going faster there. And then here, very careful. Again, turn more than you think. Doesn't really matter if you get some understeer from it, you know, you will have that traction instead. And you can see I've used a lot of fronts during this lap. I haven't really had any snaps. I've worked more on the fronts during the whole lap. So I'm gonna be able to almost go flat through this last corner, which is pretty crazy. It's the Porsche thing. I love the car. And yeah, that's a lap of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 17.185 on the P1 Docs conditions. Yeah, I wish you luck for the special event. Hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to leave a sub and like or a comment. and I'll see you in the next one.